Red Bull Heart Candy. Vitamin B3, B6, B12, zinc. This product don't contain B3, B6, B12, zinc. It is a design reference only. Design reference for what? This isn't like a prototype. This is the design that's being sold. This is the design you buy. That's not a reference. You're putting it on the front of your packaging. What are you referencing? If it's not in the product, what are you referencing? I don't know how upset I can be at something that says the product don't contain, you know? But like, really? Referencing what? That's the product. That's the final one. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are going to be returning to r/holeDesign, a subreddit dedicated to design choices made that are deliberately anti-consumer, deliberately made just to piss you off because you just want to buy some candy that has some vitamins in it, but design purposes only, or like, you know, you want to use any functional device without connecting it to the internet, or you want to use basic safety regulations, but they've got adverts in them. All of that and more will be in today's video. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention the YouTube members and patrons, you guys get an extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. That equates to about 25p per video. So if that is something that interests you, please do consider joining, as it really helps support the channel. Also, I will be live in 2 hours as of this video going up, so you can either catch that over at my Twitch, or you can catch the video tomorrow at my Blue the Nerd live channel on YouTube. Totally up to you, but it's always a good time to see you guys there live, so please do come along if you have the time. Right, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? Oven air fryer refuses to work without Wi-Fi connection. Whatever that name is, do not buy. Don't buy that model, basically. Yeah, it's a fucking air fryer. Why does that need to be on the Wi-Fi? Why do they need that to be a thing? Why do you need to connect that? For what purpose? It's an air fryer. You choose a temperature, you choose a time, that's it. That's all an air fryer needs to do. Why does that need to be on the internet? We're in this really annoying era now where, like, they think it's a selling point, right? Companies making devices think that it's a selling point that something is a smart device and can connect to your Wi-Fi, but it's not. It's not a selling point. People don't want that. There are some devices where, like, yeah, it can be convenient to have that device be on the internet, but most of the time it really doesn't fucking matter. Like, it doesn't. They don't need to be on the internet. Like, it's an air fryer. Putting it on the internet isn't going to make it any easier to use, especially if it's already got a touchscreen built in. Like, what difference is the internet gonna make? It's nonsense. No drink prices on the Dave & Buster's menu. Food portion of the menu has prices listed, but not drinks. Drinks are all $17 plus and not good. So ultimately they're serving shitty overpriced drinks and hiding it so drunk lazy people get popped. Yeah, I fucking hate anytime prices aren't listed on anything. It frustrates me. Anytime you have deliberately obscured information so that I have to ask a person about it, I'm not going to. If I have to ask someone about how much a drink costs because whoever manages this joint has decided that it will make them more money if they can pressure people into buying things because they've already asked for the price, I'm not even going to ask, because fuck that and fuck you, quite frankly. Like, it's just so sneaky and disingenuous and like very clearly an attempt at making you physically have to talk to someone so that that person can talk you into buying it, right? I don't give a shit. I'm not going to buy it at that point. Unless the price of something is explicitly stated so I know exactly how much it costs, not going to get it. So this one was from Popeyes. Someone tried to pay a little bit of their meal off using the remaining part of their gift balance, which is $2.82. And the thing came up saying, your current balance won't cover the cost of today's order. Select a payment method to load $15 to your gift card. Your order will be placed automatically. Load $15 onto the gift card. That's more than the payment for the meal would cost. What the fucking point is there in having a gift card if when you have a balance lower than the thing you've bought, you can't use the gift card to like even even pay off a portion of that. You just have to pay more than the meal would cost to top up your gift card so that you can use it. There's no that's pointless. There's 0 point in doing that. None. Literally, straight up, flat out, no point in having a gift card. It's like somehow worse than when Xbox had an online store where you had to buy games using their like Xbox points, right? And you could only buy them at a minimum of, I think, 1,000 points, but a load of the games would cost 800. So you basically had to spend you had to buy 1,000 points to buy an 800 game and have 200 points left over you couldn't spend on anything because everything cost more than that, right? Deliberately designed to make you spend more and then have to spend more to use your leftover points. It's shitty and sneaky, and I hate that it was ever a system. Contrado raises their prices in order to negate their 25% student discount. Same product, same quantity, same shipping address, but when I log into my account with a student discount, the subtotal increases by 30%. That should be illegal if it isn't already. If this was in the UK, that would be illegal. That would be absolutely illegal, and they wouldn't be able to get away with that. This is genuinely, that's so shitty. That's such a shitty, sneaky little thing to do. And they're like, look, you get $47 off with your student discount. Ignore the fact that we added $45 on. In the UK, there's a law that basically states that a seller has to have a price listed at a specific price point for, I believe, over a year before they can advertise it as discounted, right? Which is great. It's a really good law. So this, where they increase the price before adding the discount, would be flat out illegal in the UK. Straight up illegal. How likely are you to recommend OneDrive to others if asked? And they've just flipped the 1 to 5 so that it's 5 to 1, right? So if you're not paying attention and you just want to click 1 really quickly to get it over with, you're going to click the wrong one. But first of all, what does this actually help with Microsoft, right? Because you're getting incorrect data if you're tricking people into saying it's good, right? You're not getting accurate data. And this isn't a review. Surely you can't use this as user reviews of OneDrive to advertise it. But more to the point, Microsoft, if you want people to recommend OneDrive, maybe make it a competent software. When making OneDrive, a package that you have deliberately made difficult to disable in Windows, maybe, right, if you want people to use it and you want people to recommend other people use it, you could do the one thing you had to do when designing the software. The one thing, which was to make it at the very least on par with other software that do the same thing. But you didn't. You didn't pull that off, right? You didn't make it on par to Google Drive or iCloud or Dropbox or any other file sharing or online cloud storing software. It is not on par with a single one of them. It is worse than every single one. That's all you had to do. That's all that had to be achieved. And you couldn't do that. And the packages that come with it, you know, like if you buy Microsoft Office to get Word and PowerPoint and all of those things, not even those are on par with the competitors anymore that you get for free. When Leo was in uni, he had to use OneDrive because a lot of the uni stuff was based on OneDrive, right? And it meant that he got access to all of the Microsoft Office stuff. Now, while Leo was at uni, his laptop crashed a lot of times, seemingly exclusively caused by Microsoft Office stuff, because these crashes never happened as once he got out of uni and stopped using Microsoft software. But more to the point, every time he crashed, despite the fact that he was using Microsoft Office software with autosave set to on and cloud backups set to on, every time his laptop crashed, whatever project he was working on was corrupted and he lost it. And this happened multiple times. Microsoft Office and OneDrive is so shit that their autosave didn't matter, because when his laptop crashed, the entire cloud backup of the project he was working on was corrupted. You had one fucking job, Microsoft, and that was to back up his thing so that if something like that happened, it wouldn't be a problem. But it was only a problem because something like that happened. So what's even the point of backing it up? Don't bother getting OneDrive, and if it ever comes up, make sure that you're always rating it as a 1. It is a shit software that Microsoft tries to force on you. Make sure that if you get a Windows computer, you do everything you can to disable it, because they'll try and force it upon you, just like they did with Internet Explorer, and just like they try and do with Microsoft Edge, and just like they're trying to do with their shitty Copilot AI stuff that you have to put effort in to disable, right? Windows, you're becoming shit. You were already shit, right? Windows 8 was peak shitty Windows, and it kind of improved, but like, you kept all of the shit parts. At this point, like, the only thing stopping me from moving over to Linux Linux is the lack of support for so many things that I require support for, right? Like video editing software can already be unstable. Putting it on a software that it's like not completely native to is gonna make it more unstable. It's the same with music production software. It's the same with everything, really. I wish that Linux was more stable. It's getting there, but it's just, I cannot use it for most of the things I want to use it, like, without it causing more issues. And I just really wish that it was more there, because God, is Microsoft getting so shit. Volkswagen is showing you now pop-up ads of a grocery store while covering up the car navigation. That should be illegal. I think car navigation stuff has come up in this subreddit before, and I am very adamant and firm in my belief that anything that distracts you should be illegal, right? Screens are already known to be great distractions while driving. You have to build up the muscle memory to deal with a new kind of touchscreen and a new device while driving to make it more safe, right? When you're using a map, you need that map to be unobstructed and clear so that when you look at the map, you see the map and you know exactly where you're going, and that's it. The minute you start putting adverts on, especially adverts that you have to manually close while driving, is the minute that you are making it a hazard for a driver in your car. You are deliberately making your car more dangerous because advertisers can pay you money. That should be fucking illegal. Any kind of navigation app that explicitly shows you adverts that cover up your navigation should be illegal, whether that's built into a car, whether it's on a phone, whether you are walking, cycling, driving, or whatever. Having adverts and having distractions in your navigation app makes navigating more dangerous in an already dangerous situation where you're either driving a car or at risk of getting hit by one. It's already dangerous. Making that more dangerous should be illegal. McDonald's, where you have to pay to use the bathroom even though you paid for food. Yeah, that's really shitty, honestly. I've already paid for food at your restaurant and you're making me pay to use your bathroom? In the UK, it's becoming increasingly more common now for McDonald's bathrooms to have a label on the door that says, the code for this door is in your McDonald's receipt, and the code to not be on the receipt. So to use their bathroom, you have to then go back to the till after having gone to the bathroom and go, hey, what's the code for the bathroom? And they'll just give you a code. And it's like, what? Why does it say it's on the receipt if it's not on the receipt and you have to just give me a code? Why lock the bathroom in the first place? Oh no, people that haven't bought McDonald's can use the bathroom. And why are we making bathrooms less accessible for people? Oh no, if we make bathrooms more accessible for people, then people who are in need but haven't bought McDonald's could still use the bathroom. And what's the problem with that? Oh, I know what the problem with that is. It makes McDonald's more money if they do it this way. I have to pay to get a receipt for the thing that I already paid for. QRIO. You need to upgrade your account to edit your billing information and download your invoices and receipts. That should be illegal. If it isn't, I think that would be illegal in the UK, and I think it's illegal in a lot of the US. That's fucked up. Not only do you need to upgrade your account to get a receipt, something that you should be legally entitled to, and you would be in the UK, but to edit your billing information as well, and assumedly to delete your billing information, that is illegal in most places, because you should be allowed to legally delete your billing information without paying them money. But things like this existing are exactly why I'm actually an advocate for. You can now get loads of services are available to basically make a fake bank card, right? So Revolut is a good one that's accessible in the UK. There's another one in the US. I can't remember what is called right now, but I've seen it advertised, where basically you can generate a card that has an expiry date of whenever you want, and you only put a set amount of money in it, right? But it registers as a bank card. So if you're signing up for a subscription service, you put that card in, that card has only $5 or $10 or whatever, and it expires in a month's time. You put that in, they can only charge you for 1 month, and then if you forget to cancel your subscription, they cannot take any more money because there's no more money in that card, and they can't overcharge the card, right? If you are signing up for any subscription service that you are worried about constantly paying for, or you're worried about wanting to be able to cancel, and things like this might exist, use those kinds of services because they will save your ass. I genuinely recommend them. The bank I use has the ability to do that in like the account, so I don't actually need to get any of the other apps, so that's really nice. But like genuinely creating anything like that that can do that will save you. So this was a payment where you've got the weekly access and yearly access, and enable a free trial. And if you enable the free trial, then the weekly access increases by about 30,000 NOK per week. I say NOK, but I'm pretty sure it's an abbreviation. I'm just gonna say NOK because I don't know what currency it is. Krona? I don't know. Either way, you turn on that free trial and they increase your weekly sub by around 30%. Like, excuse me? What? You fucking what now? That's so fucked. That is so fucked. But also, never pay for the weekly sub for something. Never pay for the monthly sub for something. If the yearly sub is cheaper, always go for that option. Always. Once again, my bank account has a feature that saves my ass with things like this, where I can create pots and I can put money into a pot monthly, right? So if I get a yearly subscription for something, I can set it up that it takes like whatever that yearly subscription is, divide it by 12. I have that go into the pot every single month. So when the yearly subscription rolls around, I could just take the money out of the pot to pay it off, right? Saves my ass every time. Never pay for the monthly or weekly subscriptions. They're always a scam. They're always a rip-off. You always spend way more money, right? You don't need that subscription right this second. Save up a little bit until you can afford the yearly one, get the yearly one, and then put money aside every month instead of spending money on the monthly subscription. You will thank yourself. Genuinely, you'll have more money. Important update for Ryanair passengers. Boarding passes are going fully mobile. Digital boarding passes launch on 12th of November. Oh, cool. As if airports and flights weren't predatory enough with already forcing you to, like, you know, download captive apps for restaurants, which is a thing I've talked about in this subreddit before, and like forcing you to pay like $12 for a sandwich and like all of this toxic predatory shit that you're forced into because you have no other options. And now they're doing that with their app so that they can harvest your data and sell your data to other companies to make them more money. Cool. That's really cool. I really like that. That's something that we all wanted and needed. Also, what about people that don't have smartphones? If you don't have a smartphone, but you still have a phone, you just didn't want a smartphone, but you can like afford to get plane tickets, you just don't want a smartphone, what do? I genuinely think someone needs to design an app that basically fucks with your data, right? Like completely fucks with all of your mobile data so that any apps that want to harvest your data to sell it get complete nonsense information, right? Someone needs to develop an app for that. Or like maybe you can even choose which apps get scrambled data and which apps don't. Like I just want an app that I can put on my phone so that any app that tries to harvest my data just gets complete fucking nonsense. It just gets noise, right? Someone needs to develop that. Please someone develop that. I would get that app in a heartbeat. Hulu ads will replay over and over if you scrub through the video, making it impossible to comfortably scroll through the content you've paid for. There are like 3 to 4 ad breaks per episode, so you can't scrub through the entire episode without getting 2 to 3 ad breaks at once. It's always the same ads over and over and over, and you can get them over and over limitlessly. Wow. Why do people still use that service? If that's a thing, why? Why do people still use that service? Now, I'm going to say 2 things here that might be controversial. First of all, when you're using streaming services on a computer and you pay for that service, if they show you ads, ad block is a moral thing. Ad block will never be immoral for streaming services that you were already paying for. For any service that you were already paying for, showing you ads is what's immoral. Ad block, always a moral thing to use. Always use ad block. Second of all, maybe just don't use services that do that though. Maybe like I dropped out of basically all streaming services because of things like this, right? Netflix made it so you can't share accounts. Okay, bye Netflix. Amazon started adding adverts and went, oh, pay us more to get ad-free content. No, bye. Not using that anymore. Disney is Disney. I'm not adding anything more to that. So I jumped ship and now I sail my own ship across the 7 seas. And while I cannot suggest that you pirate content, I can't tell you to do that. I cannot tell you how. I have to legally say, you know, don't pirate content. Definitely don't look it up on Reddit and find out how easy it is to download certain apps like Stremio. Don't download Stremio. Definitely don't spend any money on something like rage-inducing, which is a software that is really good for using alongside things like Stremio. Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. I cannot tell you to do that. That would be illegal. And definitely don't find out that if you spend like £3 a month on rage-inducing, I don't think I even spend that. I think it's like £2.50 a month on rage-inducing to access all content from every software. I mean, I don't do that, obviously, and you shouldn't either. But like, definitely don't find out that it's like 1/10 of the price of one subscription service to get all of them. Don't do that. Definitely don't. That would be illegal. It might be the moral thing thing to do, but it would definitely be illegal, and I can't suggest that you do that. Moving on, the final post. Today I learned that you have to have a Nintendo Switch Online membership to purchase and redeem game vouchers. So this person bought a game voucher and they can't redeem it because they don't have Nintendo Online. So Nintendo will take your money, they'll let you buy a voucher, and then they won't let you use the voucher unless you pay for their online subscription. Cool, Nintendo. That should be illegal. We're like, what the frick? Really? That's the point we're at now? Nintendo, you're not making enough money that you have to scam people into using your subscription service? Fuck off. No, absolutely not. Please, guys, stop pre-ordering games, okay? Pre-ordering games is one of the reasons that games companies can do this toxic shit, because they know people are going to buy their game regardless. Wait until the reviews come out for a game before you buy it. Never pre-order games. You're creating this system by doing so. Any company that has a subscription-based online system, it pisses me off, okay? I remember back in the day on Xbox 360 where there was the console wars, you know, Xbox versus PlayStation 3, and Xbox Live cost money and PlayStation Network didn't, right? And that was one of the defining characteristics, one of the defining features besides game library as to why people would buy PlayStation 3 over Xbox. That was one of the key features because people didn't really care about the Blu-ray capabilities of the PlayStation 3, and the libraries, like, they weren't that big of a difference. Like, there were some good games on both, right? However, Xbox Live, right, a requirement to play online with your friends, it cost money. PlayStation Network didn't. And you know what happened in the next generation of consoles? PlayStation followed suit and started charging for PlayStation Network. Like, for fuck's sake. And now they all do it. If you have any kind of console that you want to play online, you now need to pay a subscription service to play online, right? You don't have to do that on PC, on any game. Why the fuck do you have to do that on consoles? You already buy a console and buy a game, and like, say you buy an online game, a game that is primarily targeted at online multiplayer. If you don't buy a subscription service along with the game that you've already spent probably 70 fucking pounds on now, you can't play it online. So what the fuck have you bought? I hate the gaming industry now. I genuinely hate it. It's so shit. Well, that is where I'm going to end the video, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. I apologize for just ranting at you for half an hour, but I guess that's kind of what this subreddit's about. Oh, fuck. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely helps so much, and it genuinely means so much. So thank you to everybody that does. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.